Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the final day of competition here at the Major League Show Jumping Ottawa, where the CSI 5-star today will start the day with the winning round class. Guillermo George, our course designer, giving us a course of 510 meters, 82 seconds allowed on this first round. 12 numbered obstacles, 15 jumping efforts, 12 sauts avec 15 efforts de saut. Starting at the center of the arena in front of the VIP tent, the Brook Street jump is the opening jump, a vertical. A left-hand turn over to the flowers, the red flowers in the center of the ring beside the water jump. Jump number 2, le numéro 2. Virage à droite, over to the right. We go to the Frozen wings, the wings of that jump inspired by the movie Frozen with the hoops under the posts. A right-hand turn to Cabana Coast. Jump number 4, le numéro 4. Straight on to the Ottawa, a vertical for this course. Vertical d'Ottawa, c'est le numéro 5. Right in front of the VIP stand. At the corner of the VIP stand, the RBC jump. Oxer is a number 6. We roll around back to the RCMP jump. Then comes the combination, 8 ABC across the diagonal toward the in-gate. Down to 9, the treble clefs, the musical skinny. Roll back to 10. The Kalidai vertical, very airy vertical at 10. A right-hand turn up the line then in front of the smaller tents to the final jumps. 11 AB, the Major League Show Jumping signature jumps. And we finish the course today on the CI Asante vertical. Again, 82 seconds allowed in this class. The top 10 from round 1 return for the second round or jump off. Dans cette classe, 33 inscrits pour la première ronde. Les meilleurs 10 reviendront au barrage. Class sponsor, Steelcraft Door Production Limited, has been manufacturing the highest quality residential, commercial, and industrial doors since 1963. Steelcraft Door Products Limited is a privately owned Canadian company with distribution centers and dealership partners across the country. They remain the only garage door manufacturer in North America able to customize our door products to fulfill all of their customers' requirements. Constructed with 100% Canadian steel, our products are designed to withstand even the most extreme weather conditions. Throughout their engineering process, materials, and distinctive designs, we can ensure our garage doors function at the highest level of quality and durability. Don't just hang a door, install a Steelcraft. And our top 12 riders today receive a carbon-hardened hoofpick, specially made by our generous sponsors, Steelcraft Door Products. Also thanks to Equestrian Digital for their partnership in presenting this week's live stream coverage. Equestrian Digital helps to simplify, manage, and communicate everything at Major League Show Jumping to our viewers tuning in from home. Stay better informed with a streamlined experience from Equestrian Digital. 33 on the list to jump in this first round, and that, in fact, has just changed. We've had 3 scratches, so 30 to see. 30 to see in the first round. Top 10.
Well, a very good morning and welcome back to Ottawa and to the Wesley Clover Parks. The final day of 2 competitions that we're going to see here. It's the Steelcraft Doors class this morning. Winning rounds, as we've become the traditional format of the shows for Major League Show Jumping. What does that mean? Well, it means that a top 10 go forward to round 2. They go in reverse order of their scores from that first round as well, and they all go back to 0-2. So basically, first round is about qualifying, getting yourself into that top 10. A time allowed of 82 seconds around the course designed by Guillermo George, and again, he's cast his spell over the arena to put 12 numbered fences out there and challenge them with that. Total of 15 jumping efforts on the course. And we'll see, again, a good field for this that have been part of the competitions, of course, this week. Yesterday was team competition with the win for Team Logano, but who will be the top individual of the week as well, with that Grand Prix to come a little later on today. So looking forward to all of that. But in the meantime, we give you a good teaser of an opener with a rider who's already been a winner here this week, Tana Korotkin and Quinn 33. Recently adding, of course, that Team Silver at the Young Rider Championship. Hannah Robson alongside me as well to examine what we've got coming up and hear He's already got off to a good start. He's confident. He was up on the commentary box with me in the team yesterday. He's on fine form.
Absolutely on fine form. He's, as you say, had a win already, a 5-star win in the jump-off class on Friday.
That was not the plan.
No, Quinn not liking the look of these fences this morning.
Just getting a little reminder there. So unfortunately, it's tables turned at the moment. Loop back. Give you a little bit about the course. They'll go from here at fence 3. Unfortunately, it's an early stop for them. A little bit of a curving line then. Let's go and follow that round. Plenty of room to get up to fence 4. That goes on a related line then. Unfortunately, has that one down as well. 5 then up to the orange vertical. And then to the RBC fence, our presenting sponsors of the Grand Prix this afternoon as well. This is going to be an interesting line too. Again, there's plenty of room here to get to this, but again, you've got to just get yourself fixed into the right spot, into the run, into this triple combination. You don't really see it into the till the last sort of 3 strides. And things today not going as they were. Somewhat unsettled, unfortunately, for Quinn and for Tanner, and he's going to have to take a turn and say that's it. Done and dusted. Unfortunately, I think that will get called elimination. As they take a second turn around there. 10 o'clock in Quinn 33. Not the start they would have wanted, I'm afraid. They will still walk away from this week with a win, but he's still got the Grand Prix to come a little later on. Obviously not with the same horse, because they'll ride different horses in those classes. Nicolette Hurt and Fleurette now, the ride that came from the St Bride's Farm. And now in her ownership for a little while now. Former ride of Laura Crouch, and well-established partnership now on this 13-year-old French-bred horse by Verdi. And for Nicolette, that will be our second of those coming up in this class. I say, let's give a little recap. 82 seconds time allowed, and we'll go for 12 fences, 15 jumping efforts. And Nicolette's also been on a regular throughout the last few runnings of Major League Jumping, Hannah.
Yeah, she has. As you say, this is quite an established partnership now. They've been together since 2021. She's been competing this horse around the Major League circuit. In the last 2 seasons, she jumped this on the Major League teams. She was on the Blazing Sevens last year.
Yeah.
But this year so far, she's been going pretty well. She just had 1 fence down and 1 time penalty for a 19th place in the 5-star winning round class at Traverse City, this very same competition. Oak Grove's Desperado, another of her rides that we've seen already on the circuit this year. She's been jumping at most of the legs so far of the Major League Show Jumping series.
Yeah, and this was a good one to come into her string to strengthen her to take up to that top level. As say, it went, a horse that went through to 5-star level previous to this. And Nicolette just with that 1 fence down. So far, like I say, the key here in this class is a little bit different because 4 faults could still get forward to round 2. So it's a change from the regular format. And you would go back to 0, but just gets a little stuttered over that last part of the double there. And for them, it's going to see them at 80.43 and adding another 4 in there for the 8. I'm afraid that's probably going to make the difference between being out or in for that second round. We're usually around majority clears, maybe just 1 4 faults squeaking in somewhere, but it is going to be 8 in the end, 80.43 with a couple down there for Nicolette Hurt. Francois Lemontin and Chanel de Cavalerie for the 14-year-old horse by Luciano for the Canadian, making his appearance on this beautiful grass arena, as you can see here at Wesley Clover Park. It's great history to this venue too. And something for everyone. We've got 5-star jumping right the way through to riding schools, all competing and training and learning on this venue as well. And that's what's great about this too. It goes right the way across the whole of the equestrian stratosphere. Lovely. Okay, so on to the next of our Canadian riders. What can you tell me, Anna?
This is quite a long-term partnership. They've been riding and competing together for a good few years now. They've had some good results over the course of their partnership together. In September, they were third in the 5-star Major League Grand Prix at Caledon. This year so far, they've competed at Ocala, North Salem, and now come here to Ottawa. They're around about 25% clear so far this year. But as I say, quite an established pair, and we're seeing quite a few horses do this. You know, just sort of stutter a little bit over the width of some of these fences.
Francois again going to be in that category of those on the 4. The 4-faulters you'll see start to just get a bit of a move on if they can. But this pair, a little bit similar to how they went the other day, just a little bit stuck on getting to those fences, and just only on that one down so far, is now getting up to 2, and again probably likely to take them out of the running. Get square to this triple combination.
Yeah, interestingly, in the winning round competition at Toronto last week, we only had 1 clear in the first round.
Okay.
And then the remainder of the top 10 all had faults.
A little bit of a change around. Quite a few we've had the 10 clears going through, or even more than that. So it is a few down, I'm afraid. It's a total of 20, 76, 83, 20 for Francois and Chanel de Cavalry. Just not quite so keen on a few places there, and I'm afraid just short on the height through that triple combination. So they're going to be out of the running at the 20. Sydney Shulman, Villamora, I think we could see a different prospect from this combination. Jill Shulman's now 13-year-old French-bred horse by Demont de Semy that we've seen win many, many times if you've been following Major League Jumping and the shows in the US. From Greenwich, Connecticut. And this is one that could be well suited this class because they're fast to jump off as well. But Minnie's just having a little look around as well, just on the toes at the moment. Right, off we go.
Yeah, it's quite bright in the arena this morning, isn't it? And perhaps, you know, with some of those Major League fences that they were just having another look at, quite eye-catching. But as you say, this pair have been so consistent.
And there she gets a little inside line in there. She knows as well how to play this game, because you want to be not only clear but a fast clear. Just good 4 strides down to the vertical. And they can open up the RBC Oxer again. You don't want to drift too far here, keeping a good economical line back to the RCMP fence. This is very efficient so far. Pretty slick. And falls short going into the triple combination as well. Oh, and unfortunately tries to cut in there and scrambles. No, just settle back in. I think she might call it a day at that point. We'll see. It's just not their usual round either. So it looks like retiring there. Sydney Shulman, Desiderio and Villamora, not their usual form. It's making for some interesting scoring through the first few so far. All for lots of different reasons. So we will roll on over there in the centre. Catherine Tyree, Newton, Van Heert, Kirkelhoff for Kat, the 9-year-old now. Belgian-bred horse by Demont de Semy on the lines out of a mare by Contact Van der Heffink. Already a couple of wins behind them as an 8-year-old, really developing that nice 9-year-old horse to start stepping into these classes. This again, another big money class in itself at 74,000, but also a good stepping stone towards the Grand Prix as well. But this is now another one with 12 months or so behind them.
Yeah, exactly. And they jumped in the 5-star winning round competition last week at Angelstone Tournaments just outside Toronto. They got through into the top 10 with just 2 time penalties, and then jumped clear in the second round of this competition for a 5th place. Margie Engel won that last week. But yeah, one that Catherine's had since 2021, and this is a former ride of Daniel Deusser. She had a couple of 5-star wins at the Major League shows in Canada last year as well.
Yeah, it was getting into their stride in those early sort of, speed classes that started off the week. It was a good experience for them. Now this year, just moving up another gear, the classes start to come in, and next time out it'll be another year on and heading into those Grand Prix, I would expect, for these. Of course, she's had very good horses, the likes of Buckeye. She's really been riding at the big Grand Prix classes. Unfortunately, she has, looks like 2 rails down that line. Again, poles falling pretty easily this morning. But really, regardless of where they get to in terms of scores here, it's all about being in the top 10. So it's just going to be the 10 best scores, and then you get another spin. It's going to be another one to take them to 12. Not easy scoring so far this final day. Yeah, going to get home with the 12, 79.35. It's going to be and time allowed had been adjusted to 77, which is where the 15 comes from. So just got confirmation of that. So they changed that after of course, they had to have 3 to complete. Catherine Tyree was that third, but having seen 2 complete with Nicolette Hurt and Francois, they'd brought that down. But 79.35 sees them with some time in there as well. Jordan Coyle and Ariso, Grand Prix winners previously on Major League Jumping. They may well be the one to spark this up.
Yeah, won the 5-star Grand Prix at Vancouver. Really brilliantly fast round there, and this horse tends to perform pretty well on the speed classes, particularly. He also had 2 down, though, in the 5-star Grand Prix at Traverse City for a 14th place. And this horse can be fantastic. I think occasionally the rideability just comes through that sometimes it becomes a little bit tricky with this horse, but certainly has all the potential. And as you say, with that 5-star Grand Prix win, Jordan knows just how to handle this horse. He knows just how best to ride it. They've been partnered together for a little while now. Won the 5-star Grand Prix at Thermal back in December of last year as well. But again, as you say, I was just about to say a fast 4 falter would be quite valuable here, but could be a fast 8.
Well, yeah, unfortunately that is going to be 8 there. Just got and now 12. Just got a little bit tight coming out at the end of the triple combination. Now it's 16, and unfortunately a little battle between these two. There we go. Steadied back down, and going to come down this final line. Going to see them at 16 at 75.86 for Jordan Coyle and Ariso. So still, unfortunately, just not quite finding the round they want. But of the scores so far, they're a little mixed at the moment. So we'll see what comes out of it. 8 is the best at this stage, Nicolette Hurt and Fleurette. Daniel Blumen, Cashmere de Braise. The over-the-top stables. Now a 10-year-old, and again French bred by Quality Touch out of a Jaguar male mare. And again follows on from what was a very successful trip to Toronto last week as well for him. Let's see if he can follow that up, but after a super week, good battle between he and Kent Farrington all throughout that week. Blumen keeping the powder dry a little bit so far this show, and this is the day where I think he can really come out and start to get a big share of that prize money. This is the big day for the individual riders.
Yeah, he won that 5-star Grand Prix last week with Gemma W. Cashmere de Braise is one that he's had since 2021. They've had 3 4-star wins on their careers fairly recently at Saugerties and Traverse City. Been on very successful Major League Show Jumping team as well. Last year rode on the AIM United team with this horse. Generally, this horse doesn't tend to drop more than 1 pole. The majority of the time they're either clear or just have 1 down. But this course is proving pretty tricky all the way around. Daniel 19th in the Longines World Rankings at the moment.
Yeah, being a consistent top 20 rider in the world, and with, I think, 3, 4 of the world's top 20 here this week. Looking good so far on just the 4. We'll try and keep it at that. And time-wise is pretty good as well, 71.55. And getting home on the 4 faults for Daniel Blumen and Cashmere de Braise. So it gives us the best score of the lineup to date. So at this point would be last to go in the second round of the Steelcraft Door Products sponsored winning round in this morning. 7 gone of over 30 in the first round of this. It's Emma Marlowe, a Cherokee for the Trelawney Farm, the 15-year-old bi-card Enso for Emma. So Daniel Blumen setting the standard of 4, still eluded by the first the clears, but again, like I say, even if it finished up with a group of 4 falters being the top scores, they'd all go back to 0 for the next round. It's about qualifying more than being exactly what the score is, being definite 0 to get into round 2. Certainly helps though. Marlowe and Cherokee then. Again, being a regular on the team competition too. Part of the Trailblazer squad this season. Just takes a moment's pause.
Yeah, she's been on the team a lot with this horse. She's actually jumped this horse at every single leg on the Trailblazers squad so far this season, and jumped clear most of the time. Had a couple down yesterday, which was a little bit uncharacteristic of them. This horse is 50% in terms of a clear round rate for this year so far. She was on the 3rd placed team in Vancouver with 2 clear rounds. This is one also previously ridden by Cara Rather-Carey.
Yes, I'm based with Cara's stable. On the 4 at the moment, again, this is where she just needs to keep protecting the score now. Got to keep pace about it too, because you want to make sure that you get that prime position, pole position going into round 2. Oh, and another one that just gets caught in that triple combination. So coming home on the 8. 8 at the moment still is in the game, but a long way to go in this class. 5 down to the last, and finishing on the 8 at 74.75 from Marlowe and Cherokee. So fast round from her as well. So that puts her ahead of Nicolette Hurt. Still with Daniel Blumen, the best score on 4 faults, 71.55 at this point. Lisa Gilbertson, Bizarre Smail for the Sweet Oak Farm, the 11-year-old by Iowa. Lacey again in action for the teams yesterday. Really stepped up well for them over the 2022 season so far. Bizarre Smail getting a little bit more exposure now. She's been a Grand Prix winner before now in the likes of Tryon, and also gone well down in Florida. has stepped up another level in the last 18 months.
Lacey, as you say, such a key part of the Spyco Spice team. She's been on the team pretty much every leg this season so far. This is the horse that she rode yesterday afternoon in the team competition. Oh, excuse me, she rode Carlin van der Vennehoff yesterday, but has been riding this horse already this year on the team. She's had this ride since 2021, and she rode this horse on the team competitions last year as well.
Just tipped a rail there at the RBC fence. So again, you can see she's keeping a bit of pace around this. To just want some speed here as well to keep you up in the top group again. Although it's been a tough start for some, you don't know what the final scores are going to look like. Gets out to get space in the turn back to this Caladay vertical.
She's good against the clock as a rider as well, isn't she?
Yeah. Just keeps coming on a nice rhythm down here. Just that one fence to go. And this is going to be a good round for Lacey. Just a little tiny tremble at the last fence. Finishing on the 4 at 75.8 as a time. So slower than Daniel Blumen, but on the 4 faults, just the 2 of those on the 4 so far. Little clip down that line at the RBC Oxa, but leaves her on the 4 faults. So second best at the moment. Conor Reagan now at Medini DR. 10-year-old by Hunter Sendix. Conor now, long-time partnership with this horse for the Dynamite Ranch. And the Walkers. Aaron and Jimmy. Aaron who rides herself. Jimmy who's golfer, very professional golfer, because he won the PGA Championship amongst other major victories throughout his career. So it's a good sporting lineup. Now on with Medini DR. See if Conor is now expanding the group of horses at the top flight again. Getting a good opportunity as part of the teams here.
He took this horse in the winning round competition at Traverse City. He was 20th in that. But he's had 6 top 10 placings this year alone with this horse. Really getting increasingly better results. Also one that he rode at Angelstone last week as well. This one was also with Antonia Andersson of Sweden in the past. Have a few of these horses coming forward here who were developed in Europe before then coming here.
Oh. Yeah, another one that's just caught out at the triple combination. Getting through the first part all right, but just struggling with the second. Again here, he knows in exactly what he's doing. Keep running, because even 8 faults at the moment is in the game. And this is going to be a good quick 8 faults, if you want to put it that way around. 74.43 on the 8 for Conor Reagan and Medini DR. So switching that round, that will make them the 3rd best so far. So despite a couple down, they are still in the game. And like I say, reiterate, they will go back to 0 for the next round. NatalieDean.com for the Marigold Sport Horses of California, the 9-year-olds by De Montesemi. Now for Natalie. Again, good day for her yesterday with the teams.
Yeah, brilliant day. She was their nominated rider for the medal jump off, getting the gold medal for Team Logano, and it was a fantastic result because they've struggled so far this year with a 6th, a 7th and an 8th, not even getting into the top 4 before this week, but taking that win, a really well-deserved win. It's such a talented squad. Natalie herself was just saying that you know, it's a fantastic opportunity for her to be able to learn from the likes of Kent Farrington and Erin Ballard and then also for the younger riders like herself to learn from them and to be able to ride alongside them. This is a horse that she's had since February of last year, so she's had this for a little while. She won the 2-star Grand Prix at Traverse City in August, earlier this month, and was also 6th, just one down in the jump off in the under 25 Grand Prix at Wellington in March.
Natalie also with prime draw in the RBC Grand Prix to come up a little later on today at 2 o'clock. She will go last in that first round of 29 as it stands at the moment. Again, riding with confidence after yesterday. She rode a super round. Unfortunately, Shane Sweetnam had a difficult round, but she still rode a super round regardless to have put pressure on to start with. Oh, and the scrambles there, sit up, stay with it. She is. Well done. Yeah, good recovery. Just on the 4 then, 71.89, and only just puts her into second so far. She was just a fraction slower than Daniel Bloomer. The key bit there was a good recovery through that double down the final line. Keep a cool head. Scrambles in there. Sit. There you go. Cool under pressure. So we'll leave them on the 4, and second best so far, Daniel Blumen in prime spot. We've got 3 of them on the 4 faults now. Lacey Gilbertson, top of the 8s, Conor Reagan, and then on down Emma Marlowe and Nicolette Hurt now. Juan Ortiz to lose Z for the rider for Venezuela, long time based in the US, and with Blue Trim LLC's 11-year-old mare by Toulon. Again, one with usually some good speed. We'll see how they fare today.
Yeah, as you say, quite a good rider, and he's been kind of there or thereabouts in a lot of competitions at the major league shows already this year, but just never quite managed a podium placing yet, but certainly has 2 talented horses here. This and then Kinky Boy is the one that he'll be riding in the Grand Prix. This one is a little bit less experienced, but he's been riding it more and more since Traverse City and last week in Toronto. Now continues with the legs in Canada, but the horse has really been going from strength to strength, one that can be quick on the clock, and he's ridden this once for the Show Plus Northern Lights. He sat out the competition yesterday afternoon, cheered on his teammates. His horse previously with Delaney Flynn and Jana Vargas of Germany. But I think he really feels that these horses have been jumping well. They've just had a couple of unlucky points in the last couple of weeks, and
just going to run a little close on time, but if you can keep it at the 4, it keeps them in the game. Yep, there we go. 4 at 76.93, time allowed of 77. So just the 4 for Juan Ortiz yet clear out the triple combination, and then here just unfortunately gets in the front of the music fence. Leaves them on the 4 faults and puts them into 4th place so far. So 4 of those on the 4. Paul O'Shea now, Hellcat, horse that is mixed between the teams alongside Squirt Gun last season and this. For Team Eye Candy, the 11-year-old mare by Cassandra Van Het Brimhoff. So Daniel Blumen, Natalie Dean, Lacey Gilbertson, Juan Ortiz, the 4 faulters so far. Still looking for a 0, but let's say it's about qualifying. Same where if you're in Formula 1, it doesn't necessarily matter what the speed was as long as you were the fastest. Good combination here. Hellcat, despite having a fantastic name, what have they done in recent times?
They were second in the 5-star winning round, actually, at Traverse City.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's clearly a format that can suit them. Hellcat can be good on the clock as well. He's been in the top 10 with this horse 9 times this year so far, and they are on just under 50% in terms of a clear round rate for the year to date. Paul on Team Eye Candy, yesterday with Squirt Gun for a nice clear, but sadly they were out of the top 4, finished in 5th place. But he's been a real stalwart of the team last year as well, been on the podium for the team so many times.
Sensible shot at the Mounties fence. They're just verticals, just catch them, and again it just seems to almost feel a little bit short in there as they go through, but it's just catching out any slight, slight error in there. Looking good still on the 4 though. Oh, and scrambles through. Last fence 2, and so it's going to take them up. I think that by my calculation that was 12 there, 72.66. Yep, there we go. Confirm was going superbly at this point, but just unravelling towards the end. Just not much of a flick behind on the way out of the triple combination, and just reaching coming out of the second of those. And so unfortunately puts them down the order on the 12 for Paul O'Shea and Hellcat. Alberto Michat, Firewall. Recent winners as well on the tour into those speed classes. Now a step up for this 12-year-old that was Dutch bred by Lexicon.
Yeah, he's been having a lot of really good rounds. Again, he's another rider that came here from Toronto from Angelstone tournaments. Firewall's one that he's been riding since January of this year, and he's been in the top 10 8 times, with this horse on the podium 5 times.
So a pretty consistent combination overall. Abby Michat, hugely experienced, and competed at several Olympic Games.
Bugatti was the horse that he rode in yesterday afternoon's team competition. Nice clear, and then a fence down, so 3 seconds to add in the first jump off. Helped the team to a 4th place, and they're sort of sitting in the middle of the standings. Had a few similar results really.
Nice pattern so far. This is where it's been catching out a few. Just enough punch to get in there, but just then got to be careful that the momentum doesn't carry you through into the seconds. So on the 4, another one that comes around the corner and has the fence coming away from the in gate. Eight still in the game at the moment. And so he's going to just be over the time allowed. So 9 is going to maybe make a difference. 77.46, total of 9 there. Puts them down to what will be 8th place at the moment for Alberto Michat and Firewall. Unfortunately, was getting close there, but unfortunately adding another time fault as well. So as they stand at the moment, Daniel Blumen still the best on 4 faults and 71.55. Marge Engel, Jack of Hearts, could well show us the way around now. This Gladewin's partner's own ride, 10-year-old by Heartbeat. And as you say, had a good run in Toronto just a week ago.
Yeah, fantastic. It was the horse's first 5-star win, and it was in the winning round competition. They were the only clear in the first round, and then we did have quite a few clears in the second round of that competition, but Margie held on with the fastest clear to win there. Another of these really big horses that she seems to like to ride, and she really managed to make use of the horse's speed and long stride, even in that relatively small arena in Toronto. This, of course, very, very different arena, but one that could well suit this horse. This is a horse she's had since October of last year, and she's actually had this horse in the top 10 4 times out of his last 6 Grand Prix. They're nearing 60% in terms of a clear round rate. They were also double clear and 3rd in a 3-star Grand Prix at Traverse City, but yeah, coming here pretty fresh and on form from that 5-star winning round win last week.
Nicely through on the 4, and that should keep a good momentum. Like 8 down to the RBC fence. Just set up for here, just balance the power. Again, wasn't much of a touch, but on the 4 still. Remember, 4 faults at the moment is the best score. Then becomes a question of time. Well, Daniel Blumen was around in 71.55, so Margie's got a bit to get home, and she's looking quite a bit behind the clock at the moment. She's going to have time faults to add in there. It didn't look that slow around, but surprisingly, maybe just a little wider on the turns in places, but so it's going to mean 4 for time based on what we see there. 80.2, and so leaves Margie on a score of 8 with Jack of Hearts. So from Margie's point of view, puts her into 7th place as it stands at this point of our top 10 to go through. Daniel Blumen still at the head of that lineup. Sam Walker, Evita for the Marble Hill Farm of here in Canada. The 13-year-old Dutch-bred mare by Cantorano, his winning ride from the Derby at Spruce Meadows this year as well, but multiple wins on Major League Jumping 2. This is one that could just come out of the pot and maybe just give that Canadian win for the week. Still with Grand Prix to come, of course. Sam will ride Hermelian into that Grand Prix a little later. Also here on the back of picking up the medal, team medal for Canada at the Young Rider Championships. Been a year of development of young horses for him as well, alongside these now established campaigners for the still very much young rider.
Yeah, the bronze medal for the team at the North American Youth Championships. Great result there. He was in touching distance of an individual medal, but just didn't quite go his way on the final day. He's had 2 5-star wins at the Major League shows with this horse at the back end of last year at San Miguel in Mexico. And he also won a 5-star jump-off class at Calgary with this horse in July. He rode Evita as well on the Show Plus Northern Lights team yesterday. Just had 1 fence down. But sadly, Northern Lights down at the bottom of the list in yesterday's competition. So as you say, it'd be really nice for the crowds to have a Canadian competitor going well. Our first Canadian competitor of this competition, in fact.
Yeah. Apart
from Francois Lamontagne, yeah, so our second, actually. I'm looking at the top of the leaderboard.
Now, light-footed is... It's just not proving easy in there, unfortunately, at all. And like I say, unique competition in the way this is laid out. Sam doing the right thing again. He's just keeping up those economical lines all the way through. Another one that just dropped short on the way out of that double. Unfortunately, it's 8.71.17. Still, it was a good round. It's on the 8 for Sam Walker. Fast one from Sam Walker. And so goes into around about 6th place at the moment. From his point of view, 5th in fact, just to confirm that. So it is still Daniel Blumen at the top of the leaderboard on the 4. Quentin Judge, HH Zorro Z for the Double H farm, the now 9-year-old by Zorocco Blue. Just catch them in all sorts of elements on this course. Still awaiting the first of those clears, but I say it's helpful. It's not crucial in this class.
Yeah, and as we get further down the list, actually, it becomes clearer and clearer, really, doesn't it? That a clear is not necessarily what you need to go through to the next round in this competition. This horse has had some good runs recently as well. They just had one fence down in the 5-star Grand Prix at the Major League leg in Vancouver at leg 1. So they were 15th in that competition, but just one down. Didn't have quite such a good time in the 5-star Grand Prix at Traverse City. Had quite a few faults there.
Yeah, but again, getting into some of their early Grand Prix that they're doing together to move up to that level, that's always going to be a little bit of a up and down experience in the early years. Just unfortunately, it's another one that has the RBC Oxydown, so going to be on the 8. 8 still in the game just at the moment. 9 hangs in there in the top 10 at this point, but only just. Intense position. Alberto Micha. Little cut across the Caladay fence. I think he's just going to run out of time down here as well, but again, it just gets another bit more mileage into this potential Grand Prix combination for the future. Final fence going to drop as well, so that should take them to 13 in all, 79, 67, 15 in fact for Quentin Judge and HH Zorro. Yeah, 79, 67, so going to be 3 to add for time. Time allowed of 77. And about 10 left to go in the first round of this Steelcraft All Products $74,000 class. Bloemen, Noordjewende, Winhouvel for the over-the-top stables. Another 9-year-old here, the Belgian bred mare by Farfelu de Muse. Also competing at Marilyn here this week. Again, it's been a pretty solid combination and have also made a few team appearances now, Hannah.
Yeah, Mark's been on the team for Helios 3 times now. And as you say, has Marilyn in the other class. Just a bit of a stumble, so he headed into that Caladay fence there, but does well to get that back. He won the 2-star Grand Prix last week at Toronto. And this horse is pretty established up to the top level in terms of fence heights. Actually quite established, is a 40% clear at fences of 1.60 m height even.
Just unfortunately Flatten's coming over the RCMP fence. Again, 8 faults. If they can get around quickly in the sort of mid-70s, they're still in the equation, and this is, I was about to say, going pretty quick has a chance, but unfortunately last part of the double there too, so that's going to take them to 12, 70.94. Otherwise that was going well up the order. Sam Walker was the best of the 8s at this point on 71.17. He's still very much in the equation in 6th place at this point, but unfortunately yet another fence falling for Mark this time around, so that takes the score up once again. Nicky Gallagher now, and the 14-year-old Unique Star by Niagara Dal. The Holsteiner for the Irish rider, part of the Trailblazers squad this season. And this horse stepping into these bigger classes ahead. Looking ahead to sitting alongside Jarvis Miss Jordan, his Grand Prix ride as well. Again, this year getting this partnership built up.
Yeah, he's been getting the miles in at the major league shows actually with this horse. He'd competed this at Traverse City and Toronto, and now here in Ottawa. He was third in the 5-star opening class, the welcome class at Toronto with this horse as well. So got their week off to a very good start, and of course that was just last week, so quite on form at the moment. Jarvis Miss Jordan, of course, as you say, is his other really top ride, but it's really nice for him to have Unique Star as well coming up to the top level. These poles are falling all the way around this course as well. It's the triple combinations causing some problems, the fences towards the in-gate as well causing some, but different one falling this time for Nicky.
Well through the triple combination, just on the 4 at the moment.
But when you look that a lot of these riders are coming round the corner to the final double, nearing 70 seconds, it looks pretty amazing, the time of Daniel Blumen actually.
Yeah, so he was running, what, 71.55. He's going to be on 8 there. 74.84, the RBC fence down for Nicky Gallagher, and Unique Star puts them on the 8. And still in the reckoning at this stage, in 8th place at the moment. To Shane Sweetnam, Birdie Duthot for VoQuest LLC, and himself, the 11-year-old French-bred mare by Magic Dell. Shane into the shake-up last night as the jump-off for the team for the gold. Unfortunately, didn't quite go to plan there, but has done many, many times before now.
Yeah, that was a shame actually, because you know, Spy Coast Spies, it's their second place of the season. And yeah, with the refusal for Shane with this horse in yesterday's competition, that was quite uncharacteristic, and it was just really unlucky for the team. None of the team members had dropped a single pole in any of the other rounds actually, so it was only Shane's gold medal jump off that didn't quite go to plan. Everything else very much did for them. Well,
plenty of time. Shane has brought it home for them now. See if he can do it again here for the Irishman. Very much happy on the turf, was part of the winning team for Ireland on his fantastic horse James Can Cruz in the Nations Cup last week on home ground in Dublin.
This horse jumped really well at Traverse City. Just had one down in the 5-star Grand Prix, but a fast round, so they finished in 8th place. He also came 4th with a really nice double clear in another 5-star competition the same week.
Coping with this well so far, really neatly done by Shane. And this is going to give you the first, the clears. There we go, 73.96. Shane Sweetnam, Birdie Duthot, back to their usual form. Neatly round, very efficient. Walk in the park for that pair to go into the lead at the moment, so they will go in pole position at this point. Just minus a shoe.
It's taken us 20 competitors to find a clear.
I think you said you had one in Angel Stone?
Yeah, just one last week.
perfect class then, one clear round, some would argue. Not so easy today, and it shouldn't be. $74,000 on the table for this class. Such a tough sport to do. And Jacqueline Steffens is one who has mastered on several occasions, including just in the last few weeks. Cat Ninja for the eye candy jumpers, the 14-year-old by Zorocco Blue, but had a nice win in Canada already this season, and I think was in Traverse City as well.
Yeah, she won the winning round competition at Traverse City with Cat Ninja. This horse can be really quick. She also won a 5-star jump-off class at Vancouver. That was the week after the Major League show, and was 6th in the winning round competition at Vancouver as well. So certainly a format that seems to quite suit this pair.
Yeah.
Jumped a double clear with this horse in the opening class this week as well. Had other 5-star wins at previous Major League shows, the one at Thermal last year as well. So the horse is really pretty established now, and Jacqueline's been riding in I'm pretty sure it's every 5-star competition we've had actually this week. Yesterday she rode Freaky for a nice clear for Team Eye Candy.
Absolutely, you've got wonderful support of Erica Hatfield and the Eye Candy team that has given her the opportunity to step into the top flight. She developed Freaky through, then teamed up with the Eye Candy squad with Erica and Paul O'Shea, and has really continued on a very swift rise that's harnessed her talents. Made an appearance onto the Nations Cup squad earlier this year in Vancouver as well.
Jumped on the Nations Cup team at Quapex Pan in America as well earlier this year, in Mexico earlier this year.
Just a little unsteady at the first part, and then drags away the second. Just on the 4 at the moment though. 4 is still very much in the reckoning. Needs some power to get out, gets it. Ooh, a little touch of the last, going to be just inside the time at 76.92. That time is certainly putting them under pressure on the 4 for Jacqueline Steffens, and so puts her midfield at the moment. Shane Sweeten, of course, with the best of them on the clear. The 8s now starting to drop out of the reckoning. Margie Engel, Nicolette Hurt now not going through in the top 10. Nikki Gallagher holding on to 10th place at the moment on 74.84. Colin Swale now, Theo 160 for the world number 4. Connor also just back after being on that winning squad in Ireland on the Nations Cup there on this top horse owned by Team Philip Hartz, the successful Belgian family, of course. Now can he join fellow Irishman, fellow teammate Shane Sweeten at the top of this table for this Steelcraft Doors winning round? We will see. Just said himself yesterday, just not quite found the form this week yet, but he's usually not very far away from it.
He certainly had it last week.
Yeah.
But Theo's been going better and better for him as well. And he's ridden this horse on the team competition for Team Eye Candy as well. In fact, he rode Theo on the teams in 2021 quite extensively and never dropped a pole for the team last year. As you say, just had a couple of fences down in the previous competitions this week so far. But again, so experienced and so quick as well as a rider. And Theo as a horse can be pretty good against the clock as well.
There we go. Ooh, just going to be one for time there. 77.12. Still will put him into second spot so far. Connor Swale and Theo 160. He wouldn't have planned for that, but he also knows, okay, that's not the end of the world. He's in. He's going to go back to zero. This is one of the few classes you can, if you like, get away with that to a little bit of an extent. So just a touch over that time allowed. 77.12, so only by the tiny fraction. Connor Swale will go into round two with that one for sure, because he's one of the top two. Shane Sweetnam is clear. Connor Swale on one, and I know we've got less than 10 left to go, so we know he's going to be in the game. About 5 left to go, if that. Thomas Joffre now. Cadora for the Argentinian rider, owned by Paul Broder. 12-year-old mare, Holsteiner by Carantino 2. Grand Prix winning combination from Traverse City there, but this is another step up in terms here for these classes.
Yeah, Cardora's been going really well for him recently as well. Jumped in the 5-star Grand Prix at Traverse City for a 5th place. Just had 2 time penalties in the first round, and that again was quite an unusual competition in that we only had 4 clears to go through to the jump off. So the 2 time faults got him 5th. Also had a 5th place in a 2-star Grand Prix with this horse at Tryon recently, but as you say, going well now, stepping up to the 5-star level. Didn't quite go his way for the Spy Coast Spies in Toronto, sadly. He parted ways with Cardora.
Yeah, Nations Cup rider earlier on this year as well, on the 8, and that is going to put them at 12. I was about to say 8 faults can still just about keep you in there, and you might see 1 or 2 do exactly that, say, okay, I think we've done enough, because they know they're not going to qualify into the next round, and say, thanks. So Emma Marlowe in 10th spot at the moment with Cherokee on 74.75. In fact, it looks like just the 3 left to go. Sean Jobin now for the Foxridge Farm Stables, the Canadian with Darius. So all of those down to Juan Ortiz now into the safe zone. Sam Walker, Conor Reagan, Emma Marlowe still on the edge. Shane Sweetnam, Connor Swale, Daniel Blumen, Natalie Dean, Lacey Gilbertson, Jacqueline Steffens, and Juan definitely into round 2. Sean Jobin then, as I say, taking us into the final stages here. One of a couple of Canadians left to go yet. Sean on the Northern Lights. They got the prime draw in the team yesterday, but unfortunately it didn't go to plan there. It wasn't quite the fairy tale script, but I'm sure there will be plenty of opportunities when it will be.
Yeah, they actually had a relatively new squad for yesterday's competition, because they fielded Darren Lynn and Taylor St. Jack. Both of them haven't competed on the team competitions yet, so first appearances for them, so a good opportunity to get to grips with it. Darius is a horse that Sean has had for a good few years now. He's had this since 2018. He jumps this horse in the 3-star Grand Prix as well this year. Was second in a 3-star Grand Prix at Tryon in July.
Just got to settle for this fence. Gets them back around past the entrance. Again, just care not to drift too far here. Just playing a little in front. You just got to keep that under control. Keep the focus. And cut short on that, and he's going to have some time as well. It just cost them a little time as well on the way around, as they're just not quite settled. So 80.25. It's going to leave them on 8. So unfortunately takes them out of the wrecking. Had it just been the 4, they would have been in for the next round, but unfortunately making it the time faults on top puts them on the 8 there for Sean Jobin and Darius. So remains with Emma Marlowe in 10th. Means another one's definitely in, and that is Sam Walker, and Evita is into the next round. So look forward to seeing them. Vanessa Mannix and Katinka 25 for the next to the Canadian riders. The Canadian run coming at the final stages of this class. We will see who will come out on top. Shane Sweetnam is the only clear so far, but as I say, they all go back to 0. Vanessa with Katinka 25 has had such a super run last year, and this in Vancouver as well at the Thunderbird Show Park. That's been very much a happy hunting ground for her, but also for her not too bad in the last few weeks either.
Yeah, this is going extremely well. She's been in the top 10 in her last 6 competitions with this horse, and coming into this competition, she's on a run of, well, she was on a run of 8 clear rounds in a row coming into this week, but another clear round earlier in the week means that she comes into this competition on a run of 9 clear rounds. This is such a tough course, so it'd be interesting to see how she can go around here. She was 5th in the 3-star Grand Prix in Vancouver earlier this month as well. And for the year to date, she's about 60% clear with this horse. She brings this horse Katinka here this week, as well as Carmela Z. That's her newer ride. Vanessa also a rider for the Show Plus Northern Lights, but again sat it out yesterday to cheer on her teammates.
There we go, 76.71. She's on fine form, Vanessa Mannix. So she will go up into second to go from the top, behind Shane Sweetnam. He was 73.96, her time 76.71. And so, as I say, squeaks in Sam Walker now with 1 left to come. Conor O'Regan, the early one on the danger zone now. Medini DR, and I think just the 1 left to come. Susan Horn, again for Canada, Ballantor for the Kingsfield Farm. From Ontario with the now 16-year-old Dutch-bred gelding by Vincenzo.
This is their 3rd 5-star show of the year together, but Ballantor is a 16-year-old horse now, so fairly established and pretty experienced combination. Prior to this week, she's jumped this horse in Toronto and at Calgary in July. She was 9th in a 2-star winning round competition there, but then had quite a break with this horse from 2020 all the way up to these recent competitions this summer. But in the past, she's had top 10 finishes with Ballantor in the 2-star Grand Prix and jumped the 5-star competitions at Calgary as well a couple of years ago. But as I say, coming to these summer competitions following a little bit of a break.
Going to see them on a little bit of time as well. Total of 9, 77.41 for Susan Horn and Ballantor for the Canadian. So puts them out of the running. So it is going to be Conor O'Regan that gets in as 10th spot. Sam Walker gets in there with Evita. Juan Ortiz, Toulouse Said, Jacqueline Stephens, Cat Ninja, Lacey Gilbertson, Byzance Mail, Natalie Dean.com, Daniel Bloom in Kashmir de Braise, Connor Swale Thea 160, Vanessa Mannix, Katinka 25, waving the home flag. And then last to go will be Shane Sweenham and Birdie Duto. So those the 10 return, they go in reverse order. I say they go back to a 0 score for the next round. But we've got some big players in there with Blumen, with Shane Sweetnam, home flag being waved late on by Vanessa Mannix, early on by Sam Walker, and Jacqueline Steffens as well. We'll go with Cat Ninja also. And, of course, the red and white of Canada. So lots to look forward to there. We take a break for a few moments' time. Sun shining here in Ottawa. First of 2 classes today as well that we'll see. $74,000 winning round Steelcraft Door Products sponsored class here this morning. Then later on into that RBC $215,000 5-star Grand Prix as well. So just going to make the adjustments ready for that second round. Shane Sweetnam, prime spots. Birdie Duto, can they score here? We will see. It is going to be an opening interesting one with the Irish at the moment in pole position, but the Canadians hovering. getting set for the second round of this Steelcraft Door Products $74,000 class here this morning. And just moments away from the second round as it is. So they go in reverse order. And Shane Sweeten are going to be last to go with Birdie the Thoe, Vanessa Mannix into those final few. Connor Swale, the top three, starting off with Conor Regan then, and Medini DR. So like I say, they go back to 0 and over the shortened course. Shortened course looks like this: 1-2. 11A and B, so the Major League double that was down to the last fence in the previous round. But this time they take a turn back to what was the middle of the triple combination at 8B. 9 is going to be the next one, of course. They're going past the in-gate back to the music fence. 10 and 3 and 4 is going to be the last on course. So coming to the Oxa in front of the VIP as the last on track. So Conor Regan to give us the trailblazing ride on the 10-year-old by Hunter Sendix. I'd say this is where this class is slightly different. The key part here is get yourself qualified into that second round, which these have done. Let's take a little tour around the course. So 1 and 2 as was in the first round here. Starting over the Brook Street fence. 7 down there, and unfortunately, well, it's quite a late faller, but did catch it in front. Just gets high, does make enough to get there, gets an imbalance, then gets the balance back on the 4 at the moment. Get out wide here, get a curve back again, back to 9, because they're going to have a tight loop back to this Caladay fence. And then final couple on the course, going to be 3, the vertical, and then on this curving line, right the way down to the Cabana Coast fence to finish off just on the 4, 45.87 for Conor Regan, Medini DR to start us off. Just a little tickle on the back bar of the music fence. But unfortunately had that one down early on. So on the 4 for Conor Regan. We'll see where that puts them in the final shake-up. Time allowed of 55 in this round. Sam Walker then with Evita. Hannah, a 2-time winner in Mexico. This is a chance for him to do things once again. This is a clean sheet for him again, having had 2 down in round 1. Take the opportunity.
Yeah, 100%. 2 down and still through to the second round is pretty unique. It's a pretty unique format, but as you say, Evita has been going increasingly well. 2 5-star wins at the Mexican leg in October last year, but also had a 5-star jump-off win at Calgary, so comes here pretty on form. Sam also a very quick rider, and Evita very much one of his top rides. Got really well quickly away from that fence. Oof.
Sam Walker, good turn back to the Caladay fence. This could be a standard setter for them. 1 to go. 9 looks like down to the last, and 42.08. And Sam Walker and Evita looks like they take full advantage of how this format works, and that is exactly how it works. It's about qualifying into round 2. Whatever that score is, get yourself qualified. Then the second part of the game takes place. Sam Walker plays the game, and Evita takes the lead. Pretty good stuff. Super stuff from Sam Walker, and like I say, just on the back of the Young Riders Championship in the last few weeks. And looks like, as ever, he's going to be a very good asset to teams, both for Major League and Nations Cup in the future. Juan Ortiz to lose then for the Blue Trim LLC, the 11-year-old by Toulon. Now fired it up. Conor Regan was around 45.87, a little bit steady around from him. More in the equation, Sam Walker and Evita.
Sam really got away from the fences quickly, and I think that really made all the difference. His turns were good as well, but he really kept the pace up.
Good move away from the Major League double. A little bit steadier than that of Sam Walker so far. And again, just as they try and turn up into that fence and save a bit of ground, it costs them a rail. It's been pretty unforgiving, that fence near the in gate. Again, same pattern as Sam to the last, but it's going to be 46-25. And steadier of the three, it is on 4 faults for Juan Ortiz and Toulouse. Just comes to take a run to that, and just a fraction close as they go to take the turn. Jacqueline Steffens will be next. Sam Walker leads the way, 42.08. Cat Ninja for the Eye Candy Jumpers, the 14-year-old horse for the Canadian rider. Every opportunity, like you said, she was a previous winner in this type of class as well. Love to do well here on home ground, of course, just within sight of the capital here in Ottawa.
Yeah, won this class at Traverse City just a couple of weeks ago. Cat Ninja suits this format. And Jacqueline also, you know, she knows her horse is quick, but she's a very fast and efficient rider as well. Came 6th in this competition in Vancouver as well, so a 6th, a 1st. And a double clear to kick things off this week in the opening class.
Good inside shot to the Oxer. Again, they're just trying to make the cutaway, and it just so easily can come tiny fractions early, puts them on the 4. Now you're pushing for prize money because they know there's one in front already on a clear. Oh, really nice turn up there to the Canaday fence. It's going to be really interesting to see this time. Keep coming, keep coming. Going to be, what, around 43, 49 on the 4 there for Jacqueline Steffens. Cat Ninja again with the 1 down. I think there was an opportunity there if somebody had been clear to have just pushed a little bit more in the terms of pace down that line, but a really nice turn at the Canaday fence. Nipped in there on the right-hand side, tight up to the wing. And for her, though, puts her into 2nd at the moment. Sam Walker still ahead on 42.08. Lacey Gilbertson, Byzant Smale for the Sweet Oak Farm, the 11-year-old by Iowa. Again, just got to get back into, as we've seen her round so recently, that lovely forward pace rhythm. Just keep coming.
Yeah, I think that's what Lacey's so good at, as you say. She keeps that rhythm up and keeps things very flowing. Just really allows the horses to jump out of a consistent rhythm and a consistent pace. Doesn't waste any time.
All having to come on the tight turn inside between the first 2 fences. Of course, gets away in there from there in 15 seconds. Maybe drifts a little wider there.
Drifted a little bit right there again.
Still looking good. Now got to push. Still, they're all getting there on the 9, but unfortunately, just as they try to get forward, they just flatten off at the final fence. 42.47, close on time to that of Sam Walker. And for them, it is into 2nd place so far for Lacey Gilbertson. Very good attempt with Byzant Smale. Sam Walker ahead, Jacqueline Steffens in 3rd at this point with Cat Ninja. Natalie Dean, first of 5 left to go. Shane Sweeten, of course, will be last to go with Bertie Bouton. Nat Dean and Doc Gondedouis for the Marigold Sport Horses of California. 9-year-old Self-Lancé by De Montesemi.
Won the 2-star Grand Prix at Traverse City with this horse just a couple of weeks ago. So she's already had some success with it as well.
Moving back into this 150 height. Got a good shot inside, but just left her a little bit close. Time to the others moving away, but of course on the 4. Still plenty to play for, with Four Faults in second place at the moment. That's 42-47. Gets across there and just gets wide to it, so just throws her out. We'll lose a little bit of time there for Natalie, as you say. Been jumping 2 stars with this horse. Been mixing between the heights with this to build up as a partnership. Still a very solid round. 42-58 will go into third for Natalie Dean and .com de Thuy. Sam Walker still ahead with the only double clear at the moment. Daniel Blumen, Kashmir de Braise. Rides internationally for Israel. Home base in New York and Florida. Over the top stables of New York's 10-year-old by Quality Touch.
5-star Grand Prix winner last week. He's pretty on form as well.
Yeah. And was also into the final stages of the World Championship too. Kashmir de Braise, 4-star Grand Prix winner previously in Traverse City. Has been a really good set of horses around him now, with Uberlook and of course Ladriano heading that list. Down there, gets the right spot. Just careful as they move away. This is pretty fast across the ground.
He's so quick on the turns as well.
As he shapes it a little bit to the left to give him space to this vertical. Now he can take a run at this. Takes a good shot at the last to get there at 40.91. Not too sure, looks as though he might have squeezed it down to the 8 at the final line there. But into the lead for Daniel Blumen and Kashmir de Braise. A new leader with the Israeli rider in front. Like we said a little bit earlier on, it could be a big day for him. It's for the individuals to take centre stage, and this is where he can really shine out. Last time it was at Angelstone, now here in Ottawa.
Shaved more than a second off Sam Walker's time actually as well, so it was quite a way in front in the scheme of things.
So Connor Swale due next.
So many of these top riders in the world in this lineup, and what a lineup we've got in the final competitors here. Daniel Blumen, then followed by Connor Swale, and then Shane Sweetnam coming as well.
Yeah, Vanessa Mannix in there as well for the home nation, so a little bit to keep them on the toes. This is where these classes so good. They jump their way into position, looking for them to get themselves. They can do their own job to get themselves into the prime spot. It's not about the initial draw. It's the initial draw, then okay, after that it's up to you. It all shakes around. So Connor Swale, Theo 160 for Team Philip Arts, the 10-year-old for the Irish rider. World number 4 after a brilliant week in Dublin for him as well. back here, long time had ownership with Canadian owners too, has a good relationship with Canada, based in America, down in Florida.
It's the number of horses that he's consistent with at the moment that's so impressive, isn't it? You know, this horse is consistent, but of course, All In, of course, fantastic.
Yeah, Count Me In within
Count
there
Me In.
as well. And several others. Just we'll see how they finish on pace here. I'm just trying to assess it off the screen. But let's just see how this goes. Moves across the music fence, maybe just not quite as smooth as that of Daniel Blumen's round so far. Daniel leading on 40.91 is not going to catch that. Still should put him in the money though if he leaves this up, and it's going to leave him close and into the top few. He goes into third, 46.30, third spot for Connor Swale and Theo 160. So Daniel Blumen still leading. Kashmir Dubray is clearing 40.91. Sam Walker in second with Evita. Connor Swale in third. Lacey Gilbertson fourth. Natalie Dean in fifth place. Vanessa Mannix, Katinka 25. The way this pair have been going, they could just put a little pressure on Daniel Blumen yet. And of course, Shane Sweetenham's come down the tail end. Vanessa, who's trained by Connor Swale, has been for a very long time. So Connor's ridden horses for her as well. Been a long trainer-owner relationship between them.
Yeah, she's very quick and quite a sort of, you know, quite a precise setup here this week with only 2 horses, and she's managing them to the competitions she thinks will suit them best.
Tinker, who's gone so well on grass arenas as well, including in Vancouver. Not quite as pacey as Daniel Blumen. Precise though so far. Neatly over the Calladay. Saves a little bit there with a slice across. And just unfortunately gets a little bit stuck coming down to that line for the next to the vertical. So just has to take that circle, and it just takes them out of the running, puts them on the 4, probably going to give them a little bit of time faults as well. Otherwise, it was looking like a nice round. But there we go, just going to be over the time at 55.62, so we'll put them on to 5 for Vanessa Mannix and Katinka 25. Just found themselves not where they wanted to be. It's going to be deep down coming into that vertical. So leaves Daniel Blumen ahead. Kashmir Dubray on 40.91. Shane Sweetenham, Birdie Dussault, is going to be last for VoQuest LLC and himself, the 11-year-old Saint-Français Magic Del. Daniel Blumen put him under pressure. 2 riders who've been battling it out well. It was just last week, it was Kent Farrington and Daniel Blumen going a little more of the head-to-head between those two. That may well occur again in the Grand Prix a little later, we will see. In the meantime, it's Sweetenham. Again, on the back of good success over in Europe in the last week. Again, that balance between trying to run for it and not be enough to flatten over those fences. Keeping the speed balance very nicely so far. Moves away there in 26. Others were around about 27. This should not be too far away. Good shot there. Now he's going to have to run down to the finish. It's going to be 40.91 to beat. It's going to be close between them. It's going to be 41.21. It's just going to be a fraction behind for Sweetenham and Birdie Dussault, but it's a 1-2 for Daniel Blumen and Shane Sweetnam. Daniel Blumen is going to be the man who is at the top, 40.91. Shane Sweetnam eventually finishing in second, and again, you can see there Sam Walker, what a climb that was, and again, using the competition to full advantage, had 8 faults in the first round, came back with a clear in round 2. Daniel Blumen had 4 faults in round 1, came back with the clear. It's a 2-round competition, that's the difference to it. So Daniel Blumen is going to be the winner of the Steelcraft Doors Products sponsored winning round. Daniel Blumen there, Kashmir de Blaze. Shane Sweetnam in second with Birdie the Third. Sam Walker will finish in third for the Canadian with Evita. Fourth to Connor Swale and Thea 160. Fifth to Lacey Gilbertson, Byzance Mail. And sixth to NatalieDean.com to tweet. We're looking forward to another good battle later on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an amazing lineup. We've got a good, fantastic list of the top riders in the world, top horses in the world, and this has really set the tone, I think, with some of these fantastic results. Shane Sweetnam, Connor Swale, Daniel Blumen right up at the top, young talents as well right up at the top with Sam Walker, Jacqueline Steffens a little bit in further down the top 10, but what a day to come.
Yeah, what a day to come, and that is just the opening salvo for you. Still the big stuff, $215,000 RBC Grand Prix to come a little bit later. That's going to be 2 o'clock local time here in Ottawa. In the meantime, it's a capital performance for Daniel Blumen and Kashmir de Blaze. Very well done to them, and we will be leaving you into that presentation in just a few moments' time. Thank you to all the team. We'll be back at 2. We'll see you then for the Grand Prix.
Presenter Kim Michalchian, president of Steelcraft Door Products, joining Karen Sparks in the arena. Karen, director of Wesley Clover Parks and Tournaments and president of the Major League Show Jumping Ottawa 2022. Winner coming in the gate, ladies and gentlemen, en première place aujourd'hui, Daniel Blumen and Kashmir de Blaze. Clear round in 40.91 to win the $74,000 CSI 5-star Steelcraft winning round class. Congratulations from our sponsor. And the Hoofpick, the Memento, with the top 12 in this class, will be presented with a Steelcraft Hoofpick. The Steelcraft Hoofpicks are made with carbon-hardened steel, designed by Kim Michalchian, and fabricated in-house at Steelcraft Products in Edmonton, Alberta. Moving over for the photos. Competition manager Mike Lawrence presenting the second place ribbon to Shane Sweetnam with Birdie Dutot, la deuxième place. He was clear in 41.21, the final ride. And third place just coming in the door, a very busy Sam Walker, just completed his jump-off round in the modified Grand Prix in another ring, remounted and in the door now to receive his third place ribbon with Evita, clear in 42.08. So our top three will face the flag, and ladies and gentlemen, please rise as we honor our winner today, Danielle Blumen, with the national anthem of Israel. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations, felicitations, Danielle Blumen. Te toca encabezar his turn to lead the victory gallop. So congratulations once again to the Colombian native who rides under the flag of Israel in international competition, Danielle Blumen with Cachemire de Breze, winner of the $74,000 CSI 5-star meter 50 Steelcraft, a winning round. And thank you very much to Steelcraft, sponsors of this class. Very pleased to have Kim Michalchian with us today, president of Steelcraft Door Products Limited. Most of the jumps in the arena for the next class, the Grand Prix at 200